These 5 habits changed my life in just 1 week, and after today, they might change yours too. Ladies and gentlemen, if there's one thing I've learned on this long road of life, it's this. A week is long enough to change your direction. And when you change your direction, your destination changes automatically. You don't need a miracle. You don't need luck. You don't need someone to rescue you. You need a habit, a small one, a consistent one. A habit that begins where you are with what you have right now. You see, most people overestimate what they can do in a day, and they underestimate what they can do in a year. But let me tell you what almost nobody thinks about. People underestimate what they can change in 1 week. 1 week of discipline, 1 week of structure, 1 week of intentional living. It won't transform your life instantly, but it will transform you instantly. So today, I want to share with you 5 habits that changed my life, and they changed it so quickly, so dramatically, that even I was surprised. Not because I became extraordinary the moment I committed to them. So let's begin. The habit of 1 more hour. Let me take you back to a time when I wasn't successful. I wasn't wealthy. I wasn't even competent. Just a young man trying to figure out why the world wasn't opening its doors for me. And then one day my mentor said, "Jim, you don't need a new life. You need 1 more hour in your day." I said, "1 hour? That's it?" He said, "Yes, because it's not the hours you work at your job that make you wealthy. It's the hour you work on yourself." Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. That 1 hour changed my life. Not the first day, not the second, but by the end of the first week, I felt different. I thought differently. I expected more from myself. Because here's something you must understand. What you do daily shapes who you become weekly. That 1 hour became the hour of transformation. Let me explain how it works. Not scrolling, not gossip, not drama. Reading something that makes your mind just a little sharper, a little wiser, a little more prepared for opportunity. You see, poverty is not the absence of money. Poverty is the absence of knowledge. And 1 hour a day cured that. 1 hour of planning. Most people run through life like someone running through a forest with a blindfold on. They don't know where they're going. They just hope they don't hit a tree. But successful people, they take 1 hour to remove the blindfold. They think, they plan, they define, they direct. 1 hour can turn a chaotic life into a meaningful one. 1 hour of skill building. You can't wish for success. You must build the skills that success requires. Sales, communication, discipline, focus, money management, networking, consistency. These skills aren't inherited, they're earned. 1 hour at a time. And here is the magic of week 1. After just 7, your mind sharpens, your vision clears, your confidence rises, and when you change, everything else begins to change with you. What happened to me after 1 week? On day 1, I didn't feel much. Day 2, still nothing dramatic. By day 3, I started noticing my thoughts changing. I wasn't thinking like the old Jim. I was thinking like the man I wanted to become. By day 5, I felt hungry, motivated, focused. By day 7, I had become unstoppable. Not because my life changed, but because I had changed. And that's why this is the first habit. Add 1 hour to your day for you. Not for your boss, not for the world, for you. Because when you change you, the world doesn't stand a chance. Now this habit changed everything. Ladies and gentlemen, if your thoughts stay in your head, they are just dreams. But the moment you put them on paper, they become plans. And plans have power. Let me tell you something from experience. A life that is not written is a life that is not taken seriously. One day, my mentor asked me, "Jim, do you have goals?" I said, "Of course I do." He said, "Great, show me." I said, "Well, they're in my head." He said, "Then Jim, they're not goals. They're wishes." And that hit me like a hammer. Wishes don't build a future. Goals do. Plans do. Direction does. So I began writing everything down. my goals, my habits, my schedule, my mistakes, my ideas, my gratitude, my wins, my losses, my lessons. And in 1 week, my entire sense of purpose changed. Why writing works? There are 3 reasons. 1. Writing creates clarity. You cannot hit a target you cannot see. Writing brings the ta. Now this habit changed everything. Ladies and gentlemen, if your thoughts stay in your head, they are just dreams. But the moment you put them on paper, they become plans. And plans have power. Let me tell you something from experience. A life that is not written is a life that is not taken seriously. One day, my mentor asked me, "Jim, do you have goals?" I said, "Of course I do." He said, "Great, show me." I said, "Well, they're in my head." He said, "Then Jim, they're not goals. They're wishes." And that hit me like a hammer. Wishes don't build a future. Goals do, plans do, direction does. So I began writing everything down. My goals, my habits, my schedule, my mistakes, my ideas, my gratitude, my wins, my losses, my lessons, and in 1 week, my entire sense of purpose changed. Why writing works? There are 3 reasons. 1. Writing creates clarity. You cannot hit a target you cannot see. Writing brings the ta. The moment your goal is on paper, you're no longer thinking about it. You're responsible for it. 3. Writing creates awareness. You begin noticing opportunities that were invisible before. When you write your goals each day, your mind starts working for you even while you sleep. You walk differently. You speak differently. You make decisions differently. Because now you know precisely where you're going. Star, the 7-day clarity method. Here's the magic of week 1. For 7 days, I wrote my goals every morning and reviewed them every night. Not long paragraphs, just clarity. Here's what happened. Day 1, I felt unsure. Day 2, I felt motivated. Day 4, I felt focused. Day 7, I felt unstoppable. Because clarity changes a man. And a man with clarity moves faster, talks clearer, and acts stronger. Ladies and gentlemen, start your day until you write down your day. And don't start your life until you write down your life. Habit number 3 in 1 line. The future becomes real the moment you put it on paper. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want your life to change, you must learn to measure it. Because here's the truth. You cannot improve what you do not evaluate. Most people live their entire lives without ever stopping to ask, is this working? Is this helping me? Is this hurting me? Is this who I want to become? They repeat the same day for 10 years and call it a life. But success is intentional. Growth is intentional. Discipline is intentional. 1 week, just 7 days of honest self-evaluation can change the direction of your entire future. Let's get to it. The nightly audit ritual. Sharing what changed me. Every night, before I slept, I asked myself 3 simple questions. 1. What did I do well today? Because success must be acknowledged. Confidence grows when progress is recognized. 2. What did I do poorly today? Not to shame myself, but to improve myself. The mirror is not your enemy. Self-honesty is your best teacher. 3. What will I do differently tomorrow? That question alone is responsible for half of my success. You don't need a new month. You don't need a new year. You need 1 night of honest truth and 1 morning of intentional change. And after 7 days of doing this, my life felt like it had momentum for the first time. Why personal audit works? Because most people let their days judge them. But successful people judge their days. Most people let time shape them. But successful people shape their time. Write this down. The unexamined day becomes the wasted day. If you live 30 days without checking yourself, you might wander far off course. But if you correct yourself every night, you're never more than 24 hours away from being your best self again. Habit number 4, summary. Review your actions daily so your direction stays aligned with your destiny. Habit number 5. The habit of choosing better company. Ladies and gentlemen, your habits shape your life, but your company shapes your habits. Show me a man's friends, and I will show you his future. Show me a man's conversations, and I will show you his mindset. Show me who a man spends time with, and I will show you exactly why he succeeds or why he fails. My mentor told me, Jim, you can't fly like an eagle if you spend your time with sparrows. Those words changed everything, because I realized something. Environment is stronger than willpower. You can desire discipline, but if you're surrounded by laziness, you will fall. You can want success, but if you're surrounded by excuses, you will settle. You can dream big dreams, but if you're surrounded by small minds, your dreams will shrink to fit your environment. But here's the good news. You are always one new association away from a new life. One mentor, one friend, one community, one conversation. That's all it takes to shift. For 7 days, I limited my time with people who complained, blamed, and drained my energy. And I increased my time with people who inspired me, challenged me, and elevated my thinking. In 1 week, my entire perspective changed. I learned this truth. If someone is pulling you down, you don't need more strength. You need less weight. Some people aren't bad. They're just not going where you're going. And it's okay to grow. It's okay to rise. It's okay to step into a bigger version of yourself. Because when you choose better people, you choose a better future. Star. Habit number 5 summary. Your future changes the moment you change the people you listen to. Star. Part 6. Final closing speech, grand ending, powerful, emotional, stage-style conclusion. Ladies and gentlemen, a better life does not begin with a better year. It begins with a better week. 1 week of new habits can unlock a new direction, a new mindset, a new identity. You don't have to overhaul your entire life. You only have to start with these 5 habits. Habit number 1. 1 more hour for yourself because you cannot grow if you do not invest in yourself. Habit number 2. Say no because your destiny depends on the distractions you remove. Habit number 3. Write it down because clarity turns dreams into plans. Habit number 4. Audit yourself because transformation begins with truth. Habit number 5. Choose better company because your environment shapes your elevation. Put these habits into your life for just 7 days. And I promise you, not from theory, not from books, but from experience, you will not be the same person next week. Your focus will sharpen, your energy will rise, your confidence will grow, your mindset will shift, your vision will open, your direction will strengthen, and your potential will begin to reveal itself. Because success is not something you chase. Success is something you attract by the person you become. And these 5 habits will help you become someone worthy of success. Ladies and gentlemen, your new life is 1 week away. Start today.